Well, welcome, Pyjama Bosses. We have a really special guest today, and it is no one else but the beautiful and smart Kate McShea. So, Kate, welcome. How are you today?
Hey, Masha, I'm great. How are you doing? Good to see you.
Oh, I'm doing great, and I think we have a little bit of Northwestern American weather today. We have a beautiful rainy day. Now, for those of you who don't know, Katie's dialing in from the West Coast in the United States, and I'd really like to properly to introduce her to you. She's been somebody who's been in network marketing for almost a decade, right, Kate?
Yeah, just about. Yep.
Yeah, and not only she's been extremely successful in building network marketing and home-based businesses, but I feel Kate is someone that you can really trust. And when I met her online and I went to her for the first time and talked with her on Skype, I felt she has not only acquired an incredible expertise, but she's continuously reinventing herself. And that's what I love about Kate. And today she's going to be actually sharing with us how one particular skill set has really enabled her in the last few years to create incredible success, not only online, but in the home-based business arena. So I think you should all be paying a lot of attention. Grab your notepads. And Kate, it's a great pleasure to have you here with us.
Oh, thank you so much, and so appreciate your time, taking time out of your beautiful morning, my evening, in order to make sure that I get to share a little bit of knowledge with your people. So thank you so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I'd really like for everyone in Pyjama Bosses audience to really get to know you a bit. I mean, who is Kate behind Kate McShea? I mean, what is your story? How did you get here today? And what are some of the funny and, downs and downfalls that you've had and some of the, success stories that you've gone through? Maybe you can share some of the backgrounds.
Yeah, sure, definitely. So one of the things, so when we got started out, my husband actually got started in the industry before I did. I was a second grade teacher at the time, and he was working in corporate America. And what we realized, which I'm sure there's quite a few of you out there that can relate to this, is we never saw each other. We were in our early 20s. I was working 4 different jobs just so that we could stay afloat. Same thing with my husband. He was working in corporate America in sales and grinding during the recession, and then working as a barback. And we just realized if we wanted to see each other, we wanted to spend time together, there had to be a better way. So he originally found network marketing at a job fair that he was actually promoting his corporate America company to, and figured, like, this has to work. There's got to be a way to make this work. And what I can tell you is that we struggled for quite some time when it came to successfully building a business, because there were a couple of different things we were doing. We were trying everything and anything, and not really getting focused in on making sure that we had a strategy and making sure that we had a way to really truly access as many people as we could, because we just kind of found ourselves grabbing at straws, right? And so then I ended up getting involved in the business when Andrew and I were going to be moving across the country. So we used to live on the East Coast. Now I live on the West Coast, and I was burnt out from my job, really burnt out from my job. Loved teaching, loved educating, knew I wanted to do something with that, but couldn't quite figure out how I could have a teaching job and be a great mom at some point and do everything 100%. And so basically what happened was Andrew had shared with me a part-time business that he was working on and asked if I wanted to be involved, and I wanted to kind of take over, which I did. And I struggled for a good 12 months of just trying to figure out how to find more people to talk to. I was in a new space where I didn't really know a lot of people. I just moved to a new area and just wasn't really comfortable with trying to find a way of meeting friends, but also building a business at the same time. So I actually came on the internet, and that's when I really started to have more success, because I could find people that weren't just in my local area, but were located all over the world. And that's what really brought our business from 0 to 6 figures in less than 12 months, was that style of strategy. And then I got to incorporate teaching back into my life. And here we are. We have a multiple 6-figure per year business every single year. It's been about 3 years for that. And I am so incredibly blessed because I've got teaching back in my life. I'm able to help impact others and have some really cool strategies that we utilize now to help other home business owners build their businesses businesses as well.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's an
Yeah.
incredible story, Kate, how you evolved yourself, not only getting started in network marketing, which is so different from all the different professions that we come to, but I really want to dig deep. You're saying you were struggling there for like a good period of 12 months, which, I don't even think is so long. I think, for all of us, it takes just a few years to find our straps and find different things that we're going to do. So tell us a little bit, what were some of the struggles that you were really going through? I mean, you mentioned one of them is finding people, right? You're living in a new area, and so you didn't know anyone. So what are some of the other things that you found really difficult at the beginning, and how did you overcome that?
Yeah, so a couple of things I found really difficult in the beginning were, more than anything, it was my mindset. And it revolved around me constantly telling myself, well, I'm not a salesperson. And in order to be in business, you have to be in sales, right? Which is so not the case. And one thing that I did to overcome that was I finally realized that just being authentic and being myself and truly understanding what people wanted and needed, and I could offer out some sort of solution to their problem, made such a difference versus me always feeling like I had to just go at it in the same path, have these like cool closing strategies, that didn't work with the people I was talking to. And I found that I started getting results and I started closing people into our business when I actually just became myself. And I asked them truly what they were struggling with, what they really wanted, and then said, well, if I had a way where I could help you get what you wanted, would that be cool with you? And that made all the difference.
Right. So it's interesting. It's almost like, you dropped all the sales techniques and then you became authentic. And it's like you started to really live out your passion, which is serving and teaching and really being, helping people. And, that's where network marketing excels so much. And within that serving people, Kate, obviously network marketing is all about, finding people who are ready to go and do things that you want to do. Tell us a little bit how you first, came online, because that's kind of your second transition. First, you find network marketing and you struggle. And now, why did you get pulled into this amazing world of online marketing, which is kind of your sharpest sword today, I find, right? This is kind of your expertise. So how did you get into that?
So the interesting thing of how I actually got online and I went online was because I initially was looking for more people to talk to. And so what I had found is that the two things I struggled with were the amount of time I could spend per day on my business and the amount of people that I could talk to. And so when I initially started out, I was reaching out to people, face to face, or I was cold calling realtors, and I was doing all of that. And then I realized, well, what if I could use the internet? I see other people doing it through social media. What if I could do that too? So initially I came online to solve those two problems of not having enough time to meet with enough people and not knowing enough people. So initially I started out by just messaging people in Facebook and trying to figure out if I could do the same exact thing, where find a pain or struggle and then insert my opportunity as a solution. And then what I started to realize is I created a skill set that other people could learn from. And that's when I went down this path of, well, could I create training that could then help other people that may not be in my company, may not be in my business, but is there a way that I can impact more people? And so then that's when my husband Andrew and I started going down this route of creating our own training products on the strategies that we utilize to help us get results. And that is where I truly fell in love with just the passion of educating and teaching adults. Because it could be whether you have your own private coaching, it could be whether you're a network marketer and you want to look to build online, it could be if you're selling somebody else's affiliate products or services. I had an avenue and a vehicle that I could help people learn how to produce more in their business. So we really started going down that route. It became a true passion of ours, and now that's really become our whole business, basically.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think, in network marketing, we quite often forget that we are in marketing, especially early on, right? Especially if we don't come from sales and marketing background. I mean, some people come from those backgrounds and they're, sometimes I think they're almost disadvantaged. But at the same time, those of us who don't, we have to learn some great marketing skills.
Okay.
So you're talking about how you identify a pain and then you give present a solution, and all these really, really basic and really important things that I feel network marketers really can benefit from. And so tell us a little bit of, when you're obviously implementing marketing strategies and teaching now these marketing strategies to many network marketers, what are some of the most successful strategies that you've taught from the recruiting standpoint, or perhaps even from presenting your opportunity? What are some of those strategies that you teach?
Yeah, so one of my main strategies that we focus on in our business is utilizing social media and video marketing. So getting your presence out there, teaching and training others what you're learning, and then recommending out a solution, right? So that's one avenue that we've gone into, but there's actually another avenue that we really started to deeply teach on, and it's really about the power of leverage. So one thing that I learned is when I came online, I was messaging a lot of people, but again, I was kind of getting into that space of when I was offline, that I was constantly reaching out to people, but I still wasn't finding more time in my day. Mm-hmm. It was still taking me just as much time. It was just a different avenue. And so what we actually learned is, when you think about it, with network marketing, people tell you to do home parties because you can get a massive amount of people in front of your message, in front of your presentation, and then do the same thing, right? You share who you are, you share more about pains and struggles that people are going through, and you offer out an opportunity to create a solution. Well, and the same thing with live events or hotel meetings, right? It's all based around using less time, but getting more people into one space.
Absolutely.
So what we started testing was, well, what if we could find people that needed our product or solution and get all of them in one space at one time using the internet and actually go through the same style of presentation. And what's interesting is our first $500 that we ever made online, and we kind of did it the wrong way completely, was through that process of what I like to call, the rapid sales and enrollment method, where you're literally taking as many people as you possibly can and sharing that with them, that one presentation, versus doing it to 35 different people, and then closing people into your business. And that's what we did. We closed people into our team, and we made our first $500 and went, this is interesting. And then you tweak and you refine as you go. And we've been able to utilize that same process to recruit teammates, to get people to live events, to sell our own products and services, to sell our own coaching packages. So the cool thing is you literally can just rinse and repeat that process over and over and over again.
Wow, I really love that, Kate. First of all, I know even from your online presence, you're somebody who really knows their content and who really knows how to teach the prospecting and recruiting through social media. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of great information. There's very few people that I really trust with that. I mean, you're one of them. But I think that what I really want to underline for everyone is how great is an online presentation, such as an online training or an online webinar for network marketers. Number one, like you said, you can leverage, you can put so many people in together at the same time and, build an international business by never taking off your pajamas. I mean, staying at home, right? And all those things become possible. And I think what I love most, just for everyone who's watching and what Kate is mentioning, please remember, this is a highly duplicatable method, highly duplicatable strategy, right? So not only am I going to be able to recruit people in this way and train people, but if I record this, can my team do it as well, right?
Absolutely. Exactly. That's the thing. It's a rinse and repeat method. So it's something that you can teach to your team, where your team can go do that, especially if you have people that are in an area where it's really, really small. They've already approached everybody that they know. So where do they get more people to see their opportunity? Well, you go online and you do it this way, which is so, neat. Or you can be seen. So say maybe some people don't want to do that method. Well, guess what? They can drive all the people that they know to your actual presentation online. So it's another way for people to leverage you and leverage your resources and your authority that you then create to build this powerhouse team.
Perfect. And that means I never have to get on a plane. I don't have to go and do 17 home meetings in my town every week. I mean, there's so many things. And of course, there's a place and a time for live events and network marketing. But day to day, day-to-day basis, what you're teaching, I find the 60-minute fast enrollment method, an online webinar, an online presentation is so powerful. So I know that you're going to have some really special training that is coming out. It's a free training, right? That's coming out later this week. So would you mind sharing a little bit about what this training is about?
Yeah, sure. So it's going to be a 4-part video series, and it's a free training series where I'm going to be walking you through that exact process and I like to call it how you can create a rapid spike in the amount of prospects that you get, sales, and enrollments into whatever program you want in just 60 minutes. So it's called the 60-minute enrollment method. And so inside of video 1, I'm going to talk a lot about the 2 biggest struggles that people have, which is time and not enough people to talk to, and how to solve that problem. The second video, I'm going to give you a sneak peek on 3 ways you can actually invite people to your online presentation, especially if you're a little worried, like, well, I don't have a huge list of prospects, so how do I do that? I'll give you 3 ways. And then the third video is all about the 3 different steps you need to have inside of your presentation, but I'm going to really cover the first step on how to get people hooked and engaged and get them to stay on your training. Because if you can't get people hooked and engaged within your first 15 minutes, then they're going to go. So how do you keep them engaged, and how do you actually share your lack of results or your struggles to actually make you an asset? So I'm going to sneak that in there as well. And then the 4th video is all about how you put all the puzzle pieces together in order to really execute on the 60-minute enrollment method.
Wow. I really like that one strategy you said, how do you hook people in the first 15 minutes? Because, and here's the thing, if you're network marketing and you're watching this right now, one challenge with getting people to watch an online presentation is that you don't have a captive audience because you're not physically seeing them. So unless you have, the skill set to really capture their attention, to really hook them into that, you're quite often going to, be promoting a presentation but not getting that audience to stick. So I can't wait for all the videos, but I really want to, emphasize that everyone should watch each and every single video and stay until video 3, because I think this is going to be the key one for everyone.
Definitely. Yeah, it's a really, really powerful series. We put our heart and soul into it because we know that it's impacted us, it's impacted our students, and we know that it can definitely impact all of you as well, too.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, Kate, that's wonderful. We're definitely going to be sharing your 4-part video series in the next few days with everyone. But before we go, can you just share, one mindset concept? You said, your mindset had to evolve so much. What was kind of the key thing when you look at your mindset today and you look at it 10 years ago, when you just started or when you were just starting to do your business? What do you think is the key thing that changed in your mindset that's allowed you to create the results that you have today?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things that have really changed for me. And now when I look back at myself, that many years ago, it's so interesting how different it is. I will say network marketing in the home-based business industry is the best therapy you can possibly go through, because you really have to take a deep look inside yourself and realize that there's nothing else standing in your way, truly, except for your own self-limitations. And that's what I really realized, is that one of the biggest things I had to learn how to do was put my ego aside. Yeah. And so with everything, when it came to doing online presentations, when it came to prospecting, when it came to recruiting, everything, anytime I didn't take action, it was all revolved around, well, what will people think? What will I look like? What if people say no? What if I sound stupid? And it was all about me versus me putting my ego aside and becoming a servant of others. So that was a huge transition for me. And then the second one that was hugely critical was my idea of where I felt like I was supposed to be. So there were times where I would hit a wall or I would dig my heels in, right? Because I was comfortable and I wasn't getting the results that I had expected to get. Versus I started looking at, okay, where am I at today? Where was I at yesterday? Am I 2 steps closer to where I want to be? Yeah, all right, then great. Then that's good enough for me right now, versus comparing myself to other people or comparing myself to what I expect I should be getting. That didn't allow me to move forward. So I always act in the present, I act in the now, and I always think if I'm at least 1 or 2 steps ahead of where I was yesterday, then I'm doing just fine. And so that's what I can recommend out to all of you, is just think about that. It's the little baby steps that make those big, huge jumps, that create those overnight successes that, you know, everybody thinks just pop up out of nowhere, but really it's those people that pay attention to those little teeny tiny steps along the way and celebrate those little wins that really make the difference.
Wow, those are really some incredible gems right there. I hope everyone's listening really closely, because, you know, you're talking about the compounding effect of the little steps and about celebrating, you know, how far you've come rather than looking how far you got to go. And I find I have, you know, gone through that as well. And I feel it's, you know, it's a typical thing for overachievers. We always compare ourselves, and I think it's a pattern of overachievers that we always go through. But I love what you said about being grateful, about, you know, living in the present, celebrating where you're at. And of course, you want to look up to others, and you want to listen to others, and you want to learn from others. But at the same time, stay grounded and grateful, and, you know, celebrate everything you've already achieved and where you've been, where you've come to. So that's wonderful. Kate, I really thank you so much. Have you got a final word of advice for anyone that's watching?
I would say definitely look at what you're currently doing right now. Look at what's working for you. Look at what's not working for you. And then the biggest question to ask is, where might I get some leverage with what's not working for me right now? Like, what can I do in order to get some leverage, to save some more time, in order to make everything start moving towards what's working? So I would say just take those moments to reflect, and then pull out all those weeds of things that aren't working, and find a different way in order to continue to move forward. Because I know that you can, and if you keep taking those steps forward, great things are going to happen.
Fantastic. Well, in the meantime, I really can't wait for the first video to go live next Tuesday. And in the meantime, I want everyone to know that I really, both Andrew and Kate have been incredible, you know, leaders online. I always look up to you guys. I always learn from you. I watch and listen to your videos, and I feel that, you know, in the upcoming series, everyone's going to learn a lot of great things. So, Kate, thank you so much for your time. I'm really, you know, just saying goodbye for now, but I know that we'll see you soon in the series. And until then, thank you so much for being with us.
Yes, thank you so much, Masha. Totally appreciate you. Say hi to Miguel, and then everybody enjoy, take care, and appreciate all of you.
Thanks so much. Bye for now.